it's a kind of deep tissue, connective tissue body work. Some of it's done on the table. It's called massage, but it's not really. I mean, it's structural integration, so there is, like you said, manipulation, but it's not a lot of, it's not cuddly, really.
It's pretty intense.
It's intense, although, you know, there are a lot of people out there now doing Rolfing that do a lot of nerve work, a lot of really light, really subtle work that's profound but not painful. There is some intensity, and depending, you know, if you've got a lot of junk locked up in your hips, the only way, I mean, if it hurt going in, that's what Ida Rolf, the woman who invented Rolfing, said. If it hurt going in, if you have 20 years of pain going into some bad hips, and I'm going to get it out in one session, it's going to be one big pain coming out. So there is that. But the idea is that our body, you know, develops in its patterns of movement and its holding patterns over the years, dealing with stress, repetitive activities, things like that. And then we actually become the people that those patterns hold us in. And it can cause chronic pain, it can cause injuries, it can cause psychological issues, right? You get locked into this sort of being this way, then you're this way, you walk around the world kind of closed down. So she goes in, or she went in, she's passed away now, and through a set of diagnostics, looking at a person's body and sort of looking at them on a grid and a graph, she would look at where the shoulders related to the hips, where the hips related to the knees. So she looked at all the joints and all the major planes of the body, and then the spine as the central line or like tent pole. And she tried to, through manipulating around joint sites and through deep connective tissue or fascia, through manual manipulation and then movement re-education, she would slowly bring people's structures back to the most aligned point for their body. So you're not going to turn one body into another, but you're going to bring people back towards their center line, which means that you're just really, really aligned in gravity. You have the least amount of friction, you have more vitality, you are more, again, adaptable and robust. So that's the idea, is that we go in there and we work with these sort of diagnostics and these little manual releases, if you will, and we try to help you come back to a center point. Obviously, it's all related, somatic therapy, because if we just work cognitive therapy, and I love cognitive therapy, if you just work with your mind, your body will hold and lock down, and your mind can just keep spinning, but the body's also holding. So if you can work it a little bit in the mind, a little cognitive therapy, dance therapy, some sort of somatic, some sort of movement-based therapy, it just propels the healing process so much faster. You get so many better effects for the